How were early church meetings different than a typical church service today? Well, what would church be like without the Sunday morning sermon? Dr. Tom Wadsworth did his doctoral dissertation on worship in the early church. He did a deep scriptural and historical study. Many of his findings challenged the institutional religious establishment. Dr. Wadsworth learned that sermon and preaching don't describe the speaking in an early church service. Preaching in the sense of a monologue in front of an audience describes evangelistic scenarios in the Bible, but not what happened in the church meeting to edify God's people. Colossians 3 verse 16 tells us to teach and admonish one another with all wisdom. Romans 15 verse 14 tells us to instruct one another. 1 Thessalonians 5 verse 11 tells us to encourage one another. Hebrews 3 verse 13 says to exhort one another. Hebrews 10 verse 24 says to stir each other up to love and good works. 1 Peter 4 verse 9 says to show hospitality to one another. How well do the Bible's one another commands describe what happens in your church services? Would you like to ask questions and encourage others instead of only listening to a monologue? How would we benefit by returning to the simple church and participatory meetings that the Bible describes?
Like, share, and subscribe for more content that challenges the religious status quo to help you walk in God's glory as never before.